Again, by giving all praise, honor, and glory
to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakadash.
Yeah, in the ancient Hebrew tongue, it would be the correct names of the Heavenly Father, His only begotten Son, and the Holy Spirit. Also, I'd like to give double honors to our teachers, the head apostles and elders, a great millstone. So the one of you brothers out there laboring in His work, and as always, the believers, the Akim, as well as the Aqua, those of you who subscribe to this truth as well. So we back once again through the Spirit. Got the brother Yash from the GMS Mississippi camp, and again the overtone is prophecy. Okay, which this thing right here is entitled "Behold Your Next Rulers." That's pretty much what this thing is all about. Or we were briefly speaking on that in camp, about rulership. How this thing is all about, a new kingdom being ushered in, or transition of power, or whatnot. And I was thinking that's the big separator. That's why Jake can't come into this thing, man. Like the scriptures say, Israel, a homeborn slave. So that's the wedge that the Lord put. That's the challenge that the Lord put in front of the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American. The topic is rulership. That's foreign to you people, man. You have to be built and wired in such a way to even entertain the idea of ruling. It's one thing to have money and resources, but you got to have the ability to rule, and this is where this wisdom come in. Now, with that said, what you're witnessing is the patience aspect, if you will, of that transition. Because the transition, like if you're trying to get a bill, I'm just saying so you can understand. Let's say if you get a bill transferred over, that's power being transferred over. It's a waiting game. Papers, documents have to be signed, or you over in your name, or what have you. Where the keys, the deeds is being handed over to the children of Israel, storm the elect. And in that inheritance requires patience. So that's what you're witnessing really on both ends. You got the elites. It's a waiting game with them. They pretty much threw their dice, roll their dice out there, and they waiting on it to tumble and fall and make the next move. But on the other hand, on the flip side, you got the patient in spirit. Those who are waiting on Yahweh Shem Yahushua to cement this man that we waiting on. You got something?
Yeah, I got that.
All right, come on.
This is Sirach. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 8.
And so I get Revelation 13 too, and start at 9. Go ahead.
It says, better is the end of the thing.
Ooh, better is the end of a thing. See? And that word end, when you really examine it, it actually goes hand in hand with Esau. That's 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter. Everything that Esau has presented unto you, it has an ending. There's nothing perpetual about it. And also, when you consider, for an example, let's say if even at work, what's the main goal when you get there? You kind of looking ahead to the end. You measuring everything. It's 12 now. I've never seen a bunch of them get grown men get excited about what time it is. Oh, it's 12 o'clock. We're down here.
Yep.
Well, everything is always looking to the end. If you're in jail, see? So better is the end of a thing, especially in this case, where you are pretty much being afflicted. Right? Go ahead.
This is back in the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
Better is the end of the thing than the beginning thereof.
Ooh.
And the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit.
That's it. And it requires patience for that end to be manifest. All right? You want to find more?
Yeah, that tone was set going back into the blessing that was given to Jacob and Esau. Esau showed his impatience, when he sold his birthright, man, for something that he wanted in the flesh. You see, and Jacob had the understanding, to retain their birthright, and he was thinking foresight. He was thinking about the end game. Like Jacob, when he got the blessing, he really put on for the nation. He got the birthright for his seed after him. Esau, he got his the little meal right then. And that's the spirit. But what you say, what use is that blessed to me right now? That was a proud statement. He really just cast off, the eternal kingdom for the instant gratification, man.
Yeah, and can I say too, that's on display. That's this Esau kingdom, because everything is centered around fast. Right now, you got fast food. Oh, they go back to the birth. That was the first form of fast food. When he said, "Give me that pot right there," he wanted the food right there. He wasn't even cooking. First example, fast food. Now you got microwaves. That's all. It all under Esau's rule. Okay. Are you asking about? No. I think that.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that. Romans You know, because like the scripture talking about, we prisoners of hope, because we can go into detail. You know, we can go into all type of detail about the kingdom. You know, break different things down, but we still got to wait on it. You know, so the waiting factor, you know, is something that's filtering out the undesirables as well. You know, because within this waiting period, people get antsy, people get back enchanted by the world. You know, within their wait. You know, this is Romans 8:24. It says, "For we are saved by hope, but hope that is seen is not hope. For what a man seeth, why doth he yet hope for?"
Yep, and that's you got everything here at your disposal, the tangible things. Really, America is the flesh. It's the thing that you can see right now.
Yep.
You know, the kingdom is not seen.
Yep.
Right? Go ahead, with more on that.
I'm gonna give one, link it up real quick. It's Corinthians 4:18. It says, "While we look not at the things which are seen, but the things which are not seen."
That's what we look into.
Yep.
All right, the things which are not seen. You ruling over the so-called white man and all the other nations, that's not seen. That's nothing that you can tangible. Jake can't even see that in their third mind eye, as it were. Yep. They ain't gonna bite on that. You can't pitch, you can't sell that to Jake, man. Because they so infused to this system. Right? But this is something that we have been given the ability. This is the luxury we have. We can see, you know, the world to come, but it's not seen. Right? You got it up.
It says, "For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal."
That's it. Yeah. And can I say real quick, but everything like we always touch on, everything here temporal, man. Nothing you can point here and say, "Yep, that's gonna let." No, man, you got to get if the car. If you say you had the car since 1968, it ain't new. It ain't original. You had to add some. I don't give a damn. It was a wire. Some went out on that motherfucker, man. All right, relationships, they don't last forever, or you know, whatever. That's here on display.
Yep.
This place temple.
Yep. And going back to the things that are seen on temple, because the way women act, you know, the way our people are, Esau and rulership, this is a temporary scenario. You see, and we have our faith in the eternal. See, we don't see how women gonna act in the kingdom yet. We ain't seen that yet.
Yeah, come.
You see, the way women act in the kingdom, that's gonna be eternal. You see, that's what we're waiting on. You know, the way all us going to get along as a nation in the kingdom, we don't see that now. You know, we see glimpses of it through the brotherhood, you see, but it's going to be in fruition. You know, you can't see, like you say, Jake can't see the earth being ran by the law, statute, and commandments. You see, but that's going to be an eternal law, the law eternal. That's going to be an eternal standard, you know, in the earth. But we don't see that. But we don't see the earth being ran by that standard yet. It's something that you just gotta hope. Like it's a prince of hope.
I'm gonna say too, that's the report.
Yep.
You've been given a report, you know, so you gotta hope in that. That's nothing that's foundable for real. You know, really in society, you go back to other societies, you know, it wasn't the other time where except King Solomon's rule. That was the only time you could say it was actually peace, man. You know?
I'm finished that in Romans. It says verse 25, back in Romans 8:25. If we hope for that we see not,
that's it.
Then do we with patience wait for it.
Real quick, read that one more time.
This is Romans 8:25. It said, "But if we hope for that we see not."
So that's real faith. That's why we got the greatest hope upon the planet. We got the real faith. We got the true gift because we hoping for something that we. Why you gonna hope or have hope when you saying I want this mountain moved and you got a bulldozer?
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
You got to have faith in the unseen. Yep. Keep reading up.
And it says, then do we with patience wait for it.
Patience wait for it, because if you got real faith, by default, you're going to be willing to suffer for something that's unseen. Because what? You got real faith, meaning you know this is going to occur. So with patience, or which means suffering, you're going to wait for it. Because what? You don't see it. But you have a real faith, knowing it's going to happen. So you're willing to, by default, you're willing to suffer for it. We're willing to sit here and go through the bullshit Esau doing. The outcome.
Yep. When you go in that word patience, it's to suffer. It means to suffer until a desired outcome is reached. You know? So we suffer until we get that desired outcome, which is what? Rulership. This thing, everything is centered around rulership. As a man,
that's what it is.
All this shit that we thought we wanted, we were chasing. No, we want rulership, because you can chase money and women, but you're not in power. Nigga, come take your woman. Nigga, come take your money. You know, niggas change the whole currency. Now that currency you've been piling up on, it ain't worth nothing. Why? Because you're not in rulership.
Nigga write a law.
Yeah.
Block you from your money.
Write your money out of law, you know.
Yeah.
So now we understand that as an Israelite man, the top thing to have is rulership, a righteous rulership, you know.
I got some really quick. Kind of this Ecclesiastes Sirach 6 and 19. Come unto her as one that ploweth and soweth, and wait for her good fruits.
Yep, and wait for her good fruits. And that what we're going into about the natural maturation, if you will, the humility before honor is really serving and working. That's why I said that. It said, come unto her as one that plow. Because if you don't work, you don't eat. Like eat symbol. That's why the scriptures say, woe to you and your princes, eat in the morning. That's going back to Cain, man. Eating is not just reserved to you. Damn, digesting food. Eating it symbolizes you relaxing. Jake even said, I'm eating. I'm always say they're doing good, or he eating. Right? So, but this fruit right here, you labor for it, man. See, read that again.
It says, come as one that plows and wait for her good fruits.
Yeah, because that's the natural maturation. In order for you to get the fruits, the old saying, enjoy the fruits of your labor. In order for you to even get the fruits, there's a process. But laboring and toiling, what's the key word there? Sowing. That's patience, man. Because when you go into a farmer or a husbandman, one job requires the most patience. There's nothing they can do. Yeah, it's very tedious. It's very tedious, like the brother said. And overall, it's patience involved because they do what they do, and they got to sit down as a waiting game. They have to wait on to generate now. So that's what you're witnessing now. We pretty much waiting. We stationed and we waiting. See, matter of fact, you had something? Get Psalm 130, and I think you start at the top. That was it on what you had up?
Come on.
All right, come on. And so that's pretty much, like the brother said, that's going to serve as a filter. That's going to actually contribute to purging out the rebels. Because a nigga who can't wait on nothing, then, especially when it's not yours per se. Like you wait on your inheritance, motherfuckers say, I'll give you this much money, but you got to pay me this back because you can't wait on your inheritance. Or your taxes or something.
Yeah.
You go get your taxes early, but they cut off so many percent.
Yeah.
When you could have waited it out and just got what was due to you. You make a point up?
No.
130, let's start at verse 1.
Psalms 130 and verse 1, it says, out of the depths have I cried unto thee, O Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, Lord, hear my voice.
Yeah. That's it, right? But out of the depths, right? Depths is levels to it, right? If it's physical, if you want to just say, well, give me the geographical, the depths would be America, because that's the hindermost parts of the nation, man. But it's levels. Depths also go into a state. The current status of the nation of Israel, niggas are, lying and associating themselves with like, and the greeting is malak. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But I'm saying on the spirit, you got to understand that we got to wait on that. That we not kings yet. So we crying out from the depths. We in the lowest place, right? Scriptures say that the Lord will raise up the poor from the dunghill. Go ahead, Oh, America, the beggar, yeah. That's Lazarus and the rich man. The dunghill really America. Damn shithole.
In our mind while we wait, it's being formed to that king-like mentality because you got to be conforming to a king-like mentality before you put on the throne. And that's what anything like. If you're trained to be a Marine, you are already once you go through the training, you're becoming a finished product, and then they finally make you Marine. So. We're kings in training, like you said.
Yeah.
So we gotta let the patience, as this thing waits, it's something we gotta work on. Like we want the end, but if it ain't came yet, that means it's something we got to continue to get right.
We're a work in progress. We kind of touched on that before.
Yep.
The truth is set for you to examine yourself. It's a schoolmaster.
Yep.
What was the one old movie with Eddie Murphy, The Golden Child? I think was that what they was grooming him up to be the next king? The little Chinese boy in it. Yeah, I think that was the name of it.
Okay.
But that would happen with kings. You don't just go send a king. Go get him, boy. No, he's set up. Oh, you got that.
Come. This is the book of James, chapter 1, verse 2. It says, my brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience.
Yeah, well, come on. Oh, yeah, that's beautiful.
But then,
you can get that in Romans too. I think it's Romans 5. Because it goes really to the maturation.
Yeah. And then this the point. But let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing.
Yeah. So that everything polished up, you've been groomed. Now you don't have to work on nothing. You've been presented. That goes to being presented as that chaste virgin. Because you think about a bride, they don't just send her out there. You got the aunties and the grandmother, the mother, they adoring her. She's been adorned until that perfect work. Now she can be presented, Big point.
That's a beautiful point. You like I said, you already got to be in the progress of what you want to be, man, before you become that. Because like you said, like a woman, learning how to be a wife, she started probably learning how to cook for her siblings, Now first she'll start helping her mama in the kitchen, probably then she'll upgrade to being a prepper of the food. And then she'll upgrade to actually preparing the meal, feeding the siblings or whatever. And then now she's reaching So now she's reaching that stage where she done nursed, 2 or 3 of her siblings. So now she's ready to be presented, because as a business, you don't want to present nothing till you got it right. If you sell anything, you don't just buy a t-shirt machine, the printer. And then the next day you on the block with t-shirts. No, you gotta perfect that craft. You gotta get that craft to a certain point. Then you put it out there on the market. And that's what the Lord is doing with us. He's perfecting, his product. Then he's gonna put it on the market, man.
Can I say all things are not ready?
Yep.
Even as natural maturation. 2,000 years ago, they didn't have it in its perfection. When they were now with the kingdom, now be prepared. Acts the first chapter. No, it is not for you to know. We had to be perfected.
And let patient have a perfect
work. Because the beauty with patience, like you said, let it do it, have its perfect work. When you got a specimen or something, you're gonna have to try that work.
Oh man, that's a beautiful thing. Oh, well, that's Romans the 5th chapter. That's like you finish. You're gonna have to try that work. You're gonna have to put that fire. Adapt in this situation, beautiful. Let's put it in that situation until it's perfect. Because you got to experiment on it. You got to try it out. You know what I'm saying? Well, once you see, so now it's perfected. Now I've finished all levels. That's the beauty of patience. You know what I'm saying? And that's us right here in the system. You know what I'm saying? We got to know how to judge things uprightly, negative and positive. Because the Lord will judge situations in your faith to see how you're gonna handle it. You remember you going to King Solomon, the scriptures made a conscious effort to highlight when the 2 women brought the baby in there, and that judgment call, it contributed to establishing his kingdom. Which, by the way, I forget where it's at. I want to say it's in 1 Kings, the 2nd chapter, where it's talk about how King Solomon's kingdom was greatly established in his hand. You go in that word greatly, it going to the word repeatedly. So that's going to happen again. That shows that was a foreshadow. Just going out that was a foreshadow of how we going to be.
It really set the tone.
It set the tone.
Hey, because that story went abroad. About what Solomon did, and
people actually pattern themselves after that.
Because I watching what's that, Law and Order, and you know how the judge will bring the plaintiff and the defendant to the back and try to negotiate something. And defendant a little bit what they want, and he said, "Okay, we just gonna split the baby in half." That's the term he used. Going back to the Solomon situation. But that's a term the judges use to this day. Well, let's split the baby in half. Let's give the plaintiff a little what he wants. Let's give him a little, It shows you that Solomon set a standard for judgment with that mindset. Man.
That's beautiful. All right, give me that Romans real quick.
Romans 5
and y'all can go into some of the words too, in the spirit a lot. But that's a key component. It's bigger than just knowing that it's like we all had to work on that. You come into this thing, we all being shaped and molded, polished. We under that schoolmaster, the scriptures.
Right.
So that takes patience. Even when you don't just go into the regular season. It's a time where things are prepped. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's it. Trial and error. It's trial. That's really what it's about. That's heavy though. That's heavy because when you go in Ecclesiastes, matter of fact, get that too. Ecclesiastes, the second chapter. Sirach, that's it. You can't. They gonna you bring back around to that.
Get around
because that's the condition of the master. You know, go ahead. You got
Romans 5 and verse 1, it says, therefore being justified by faith, all right, which is that real faith, like you just read in Romans 8 chapter.
And that, can I say, that covers so much. But it's justified by faith.
Yes.
It really goes into, you got to have faith in what?
Yeah, that's true.
Now, we're in 2022. What could that apply to? That's how you got to narrow things down. Yeah. What faith is that talking about? It got to be talking about a certain doctrine that you would have to put stock into that wouldn't be in harmony or, what would I say, the traditional way, if you will, the Bible was presented to you. What we saying is you are so-called UFOs that's going to come and deliver us with the Lord and lead in charge. He on the big chariot. Yeah. That's that faith.
It's that faith. Hey, he said you're going to be justified by faith.
Yeah.
Hey, because going back to why this is a functioning society, we keep the law to the best of our ability. But see, it's going to come a time where it's going to be a decision based off faith that's going to get you delivered. Hey, because even now, like you said, faith.
Discretion shall preserve it.
Like you say, faith in what? Because you can ask a random nigga why they not taking the jab. It's gonna be, man, I ain't with all this shit. They gonna give you some emotional explanation, But you ask a brother pull a little precept, Psalm 103, the Lord healeth all diseases.
Faith not Faith not saved.
So we got faith in the doctrine. We don't just, because it's easy to decline, the jab now because you still can maneuver. But see, when it gets hard. And you ain't back about when you ain't, now you got to really stand on something. See, we coming to a time where you really gonna have to stand on something. Because going back to what? We believe that we're gonna be delivered by the chariots. That's why we're gonna make the decision. No matter we lose the house, the car, all right. Eventually, Howard Shine, they ain't gonna just leave us to rot away, like a bomb in America. No, man, that means that Howard Shine finna make moves when we start losing houses and cars and our women leave. If they leave, we know Howard Shine finna speed this thing up, man. And that's our faith. That's how we're gonna be justified.
When it goes back to believing report. Matter of fact, get St. John 6. You got that St. John 6 started at 29. Because the Lord, because what this doctrine entails, it preserves you. And like the brother said, that's a great point. It's gonna be a time. You remember when the three holy children, they didn't bow to the faith was activated. Like we're going into it's levels. Right. Oh, scripture say, give me that faith by faith to faith. Get that. Go ahead.
This book of St. John chapter 6, verse 29. Yahweh Shai answered and said unto them, this is the work of the Most High, that ye believe on him whom he have sent.
Yeah, see, that's it. So you believe in the report. Now you justified. Because really, if you really believe, then it's going to build on what the brother said. It's going to flourish and it's going to progress and blossom into decision making. That motherfucker, your auntie mad because you ain't eat that pork chop you used to eat when you was little. That because then you believe that the scriptures say that that's off. So now it's really being activated. But like the brother said, it's going to be in its fullness and its perfection to the highest level. It's going to be climaxed when these people roll down on you with the military, man. Motherfucker can't speak English. And he gun butt you. Oh, don't tell us that that's possible. We saw the footage of the 80-year-old Edomite lady got threw out the house. She said, no, you're not coming, man. That goddamn military man grabbed her and flung her ass out the house, man. Right? So what you gonna do in that day? Is you gonna make that sound decision? Now everybody can say, but that's when your faith is that's what it's gonna be really on display. All right, go ahead.
God, Romans 1 and 17. For therein is the righteousness of the Most High revealed from faith to faith.
See, from faith to faith is levels. If you started off believing you heard the doctrine, then that got to go to the next stage. Okay, or if you were to go out on the highways and byways, do you believe that much? Okay, that's faith to faith. Then the next level.
Yep. Because like you say, faith to faith to the point now, brother's faith be so strong, you really just anticipate.
Yeah.
You can tell us, like, it ain't no swaying, no way. Like, we just really anticipate. Like, we playing the way, like I say, we just anticipate. We know it's going to happen. You have to show up.
Yeah.
You see, we know America gonna be in chaos. We know it's gonna hit America.
That's what we wait for.
You just anticipate now. It ain't, you know, faith went from anticipation, like, you know, we just anticipate, man. You know, you got it.
That's that.
You think that?
God, it said, for therein is the righteousness of the Most High revealed from faith to faith, as it is written, the just shall live by faith.
There you go. The just shall live by faith, and the faith starts with the report. So the only thing that really makes sense is really starting with a doctrine that would be in opposition to the world's view. Because you even got other Israelite groups who are taken by this approach, you know, of the doctrine that we come with. You know, they're appalled. They're either side with that damn vocab alone, you know, because what we bring forth is strange to their ears. Or that's Romans, with Acts, 17th chapter. So it takes faith to believe something that's strange, something that's not conventional. Because something that you don't know, that's when people, there's an old saying, people fear what they don't know, the fear of the unknown, things like that. So it takes faith to even entertain this teaching. So you got that, you got a point?
You got it. Like that's what Hebrews 11 chapter, verse 1 say. Faith is the evidence of things not. Roughly paraphrase.
That's called.
Everybody know, you know what I'm saying? You know, so
The substance of things hoped for.
you know what I'm saying?
And then that's another thing too, can I say, what contributes to the strangeness or the foreign idea of what we teaching? The fact that the so-called Negro, Latino American, a person aligned and associated with pants sagging and freaking a black and mild, you know, psycho babbling from old rap shit. Those are going to be the next rules of the planet. That in itself is offensive.
Right.
That's offensive.
Right.
Even to your own people, that shit offensive. But also, it's a strain. It requires faith to even entertain it.
It's a far stretch.
It's a stretch, man. And you got to be wired a certain way to believe that, to even act on it.
Yeah. Like I said, it's easy for for someone to say, Russia's gonna be next as a superpower, or China. Because you even have rich Edomites teaching their children Mandanese, their Chinese language. Thinking that that's gonna be the next, superpower. That's gonna be the next influence. Because you can see it. You can see China with the, the economy growing, the smart cities, and the manufacturing superpower. You can see that, but see, men you see sitting on the couch or on the highways and byways, it's hard to fathom them to be the rulers. And the Most High wanted to be a far stretch, So you can't be a part of this unless you really have faith. You're not gonna have that longevity unless you really have faith. Because going back into the title of the lesson, the rules to come, you gotta really believe that you it's a possibility that the men, that you see, doing these live streams, pushing these videos in sincerity, will be the next rulers with Yahushua. That you gotta really fathom that, man.
Let me read it real quick. Hebrews 11:1.
Yep.
Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, and that go back to Romans 8 chapter when the brother read. Things that we don't see, we yet hope for. Why? Because we have that substance of things hoped for, which is us being the next rulers. All right, it says, for the evidence of things not seen. See that? So that's we don't have that tangible hope. Putting your hope or tangible faith, putting your hope and your faith in things you can see, such as money. You see what I'm saying? A person say, "Well, I need to pay my bills." I call it that go. You that money, you got that go in your pocket. You go pay your bills. You see what I'm saying? But if you don't have that money in your pocket, you gotta have faith. Something that you don't have nothing tangible to do, and it's unseen because I have no means of doing it. So now faith gonna have to kick in. That's the same with us being the next rulers. They saying, where's the evidence? Like the brother said with Russia, and these other countries, they got tangible evidence. You see what I'm saying? Or they could be. But they looking at us, the Most High raising through Yahushua, raising somebody up with no power. You telling me these gonna be the next rulers? See what I'm saying? And that's what faith kick in.
I got something to back you up. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 11, Sirach 11, and verse 5. It says, the kings have sat down upon the ground, and one that was never thought of.
The kings that sat down upon the ground, and one that was never thought of, the men that you're looking at. You never would think, oh, these niggas, these fix, these Uncle Tomahawks that's coming out of the ghettos and barrios is gonna be the next rulers. Like the brother said, you know, you got this man with his pants sagging, they're killing each other. It's gonna be the next rulers. Read it again.
It said many kings have sat down.
Can I say too? Not saying that they're gonna be that's gonna be the standard.
Yeah, this is stereo.
Yeah, we represent that.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
We the heads of
those
those
people.
Yeah,
we those people. Yeah, exactly.
So every person don't look at it like, oh, Drake, they ain't like them. They lump us all together.
Right.
That's how we look at Esau. We don't say it's a couple of good Edomites. Them devils don't look at us like that. They still look at you just a good basketball shoe nigga now.
Yeah.
You know?
Domesticated.
Yeah, you're a domesticated nigga. Yeah. You got it.
God, it said many kings have sat down upon the ground, and one that was never thought of have won the crown.
That's gonna be us. The ones that face. The ones like the brother said, you got these other countries. These guys, you can see the tangible evidence of, oh, these may be the next rulers. But there's no evidence when it's applied to us. It's all a spiritual thing.
Yep. Okay. And then there's even amongst, it's a level to that, because even amongst all these nations, no one's considered the tribes of Israel, the true tribes of Israel, so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, to be next. And then even when you consider Israel, all right, there's particular men that no one is really considered.
Yeah.
And because remember King David, he wasn't even considered when Samuel went to go anoint King David. But see, remember with Saul already was popular and buzzing, because when it was time to pick a king, everybody already just chose Saul.
They wanted him.
And so he was already buzzing. But King David was just somewhere off the grid, defending the sheep. Spiritually today, we kind of off the grid, just defending the sheep, and no one really considered us. You got to think, a brother, do an edifying video, get 28 views, and then you got a nigga put out a video. All right, such and such cuts, pastor,
nigga, murder might come out.
You get 200,000 views. Well, he's already, in the limelight. But see, the Most High gonna choose men who's least considered. It always even how Howard Shot came. He came in such a lowly and meek way. To claim that title, the Son of the Most High. You see, but that's why I always say, glory, brothers. You got glory, in the position. See, really. You learn the glory in being an underdog when you have faith in the outcome, because you can't wait to see the faces. Everyone that doubted you gonna see you on thrones. They gonna dwell in your province. You see, your planet. In the future to come, man. So we'll take that.
You gotta put this is on 1 Peter 5:6. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of the Most High, that He may exalt you in due time.
That's what we're doing. Yep. This is humbling. We showing that we love Yahweh Shai. We're going out in sackcloth. You see what I'm saying? Going out on the highways about, and that was a good point, like you said. We in the same physical stance, well, not physical, spiritual stance as King David was. You know what I'm saying? We supposed to be the insignificant ones. They would never look at us. Telling me those weak ones is going to take down Goliath. You telling me these guys about the girls going to take down
the weak things.
See what I'm saying? Because His glory shall be seen. You don't read that again.
It said, humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of the Most High, that He may exalt you in due time.
And when we are complete, you see how Bashim Al-Shai is performing and work within us. You get that get Philippians 1:6. Hey, because even when we think about it, King David was anointed when he was like 14, 15. But he didn't become king until he was 30. You see, it was a patient thing. Like he just get anointed, and the next week he was king. No, he had to be persecuted. He had to flee in the wilderness. He had to go amongst the Philistines. Then he became king, and that's why he had a mindset because he had been through so many situations. If he would have been put on the throne when he was 15, he wouldn't have had that experience.
Exactly.
You see?
Try that out.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do.
I got a regular definition for the phrase due time, right? It says in due time means eventually or at the right time. Like you said, you could be going to king or you can have this inheritance, but there's a certain time where it's going to be solidified. And it takes patience.
Yep.
But hold on, it says, in due time is often used to say someone should be patient.
Woo!
See, in due time is often used to suggest that someone should be patient or to suggest that some event will happen.
Something gonna happen eventually. That's gonna, because as we're patient and while we're waiting, you know, that's why how Shah say gonna come quickly. You know, because as we wait, you know, it's gonna be some things happening that's gonna speed everything up so fast, and man, we'll be in the kingdom before we know it, you know. But now it's a time of patience, you know, and just waiting until it's not terrible, you know.
I was thinking about that as you were saying.
Yeah,
gotta get room.
Yeah, you gotta be right.
But everything gotta be dressed. You know, when the scripture speaks about how the Lord, St. John 15 chapter, the Lord gotta trim niggas out the fat, gotta be trimmed.
That's what I'm thinking about.
You can't present the vineyard.
Exactly, yeah.
You're a king.
Rough around the
edge. Yeah, you can't present the vineyard unless everything is all ready. Even going to season too. Certain time to be presented.
Yep.
Same way like a rose.
Yeah.
Same way.
Everything in its season. So that's what this is the core. This is a heavy component in this faith. Patience, man. That word is really in the same breath. It goes hand in hand. Faith and patience really. And inheritance. You can really lump all those words together. Faith, patience, inheritance. You've been promised an inheritance. It takes patience. Oh, God.
It's so beautiful.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Then, you can go back to the Romans 5 too. You still got that?
Yep.
The Philippians. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, I'm gonna read the Philippians first. Philippians 1:6, it says, being confident.
Patience.
That's it.
Comes
with
going back to fidelity. Yeah. Faith, man. With faith, go ahead.
Of this very thing.
Go ahead.
that he begun a good work in you, but will perform it until the day.
Hey, he said, be confident in this very thing that he that begun a good work will perform it until the day of Yahushua.
That's right up.
You see, there's a work that has been begun. You know, we're being built up to be those next rulers. Get that word on, perform in the blue letter. You see, that's what this thing is all about. You know, it's all about that trial of endurance. And see, we got the glory, you know, in these trials, man. You know, hey, because it's just like just a mindset thing. Cause like the different special forces, they'll drop them off in the middle of the jungle, and then they'll just give them a map of longitude and latitude. They got to find their way back to the pickup spot. You got to navigate through the jungle, you know. So those that can't navigate, they get left. You see, and then they get to the point where they keep doing that trial over and over again. Each time they go through different things. Like it ain't gonna be the same thing that you go through every time you navigate through the jungle. Gonna be something different. But see what happens, the mindset within those men that endure change. Now they can't wait to go out there and navigate their way to the spot. You see, it went from them being nervous, you know, seeing things they never seen, to now, you know, they get to drop off the helicopter. You know,
Exactly.
You know, you got
the word perform in Strong's G 2005. It says to bring to an end.
To bring to an end. The end of a thing.
Oh man,
it's better than the beginning.
Come on, man.
That's why if you're not growing in this, you wasting your time.
That's cool.
You know, if you just hanging around going through the motion, you wasting your time. Or if you think you got it, you got that mindset like you got it. You know, as men, start with the men in this ministry. If you got it, you got no room to grow. You just gonna go through the motion. No, you gotta continue to grow till you get accomplished. Go ahead.
You being chiseled.
Yeah.
No, you just said accomplished.
Yep.
Next word, accomplished. Now, perfect.
Perfect. You see, we're being perfected. You know, and that's just like for a woman can't never have the mindset like, you know, she's just gonna go through the motions of being a wife. No, she gotta constantly evolve and elevate into something great. Yeah, you know, if as a woman, if she thinks she got it, eventually she gonna fall off. You know, so we have to be in the mind frame of what, man, continue to develop and grow in character and behavior. You know, if you still react, you know, to situations the same way you did 2 years ago, ain't no growth, man. You know?
So you being built up.
Yep.
That was the house of David being built up. You going there where it's built. It goes to edify. You being instructed, being taught.
Yep.
You know? Yep.
What you always say, when you building, that is not perfected.
Yeah, they're not perfected yet. None of us not perfected yet. That's why the scripture saying, do it to the end. That's the last clause for any of us. Like, you got to finish. You got to make it to the checkpoint. You know? Yeah, go ahead.
It says execute, just like when a coach draw a play. To execute the play is to what? Accomplish the play.
Well, like Barack said back in the day, this the playoff. I mean, this the preseason. See, this is the beginning. We're going to actually go into a phase where you got to execute and actually say that we found the insights. So we here. I'm waiting on you. I saw you. You got to complete.
And you got you got like the Holland, they don't go out anymore.
Yeah, they think the mission
like they graduated. You know?
Yeah.
Jake, be halfway in retirement. No, man. That's why you see the apostles and elders out there with the same fire, from day one, even before the YouTube, man.
You on the journey, you got to end it. You got to complete it.
Yep. Matthew 24:13. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved.
Well, it's like get Romans. Hebrews 12. Then go to the blue letter on that word finish.
Oh yeah.
Because this is what perfects you. That's going to be the component, because it really levels to perfection as well. You can have perfect understanding of something, or let's say you can keep the law. Let's say not that can apply in this lifetime. But let's say one can keep the law perfectly. You remember when the time of Yahushua, the young man walking up on Yahushua and said he kept everything perfect? Right. Then what Yahushua said, no, if thou be perfect, that lets you know that even keeping the law ain't perfection, man. Perfection is the finishing. Matter of fact, get it.
This is the word. I'm reading the scripture.
Yeah, I got that word.
Okay, finisher. Hebrews 12:2.
Yeah.
Hebrews 12:2. Looking into Yahushua, the author and finisher of our faith. That word faith again.
There you go.
It says
that shows his levels, faith to faith.
Exactly.
So you start off with the reports, and that report prepares you on the stratosphere where you're in a race now. It's like you got invited to a race. You got the papers, so you can walk up and say, "Hey, here go my papers." You in a race, come on. But now you got to finish. Hey, go ahead.
It says, "Who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross."
Yeah.
The word endure again, it said, "Despised the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of the Most High."
The Greek word for finisher, all right, is
Strong's G 5051. Teleotes.
Teleotes. All right, and it says a perfecter.
See, a perfecter.
Yep.
So to finish, really to be perfect in the eyes of the Lord is to finish.
It's a
grass. It's bad. You did a hell of a job. You knocked off the hedges and shit. You made a poodle out of the hedges. I didn't finish, motherfucker. I'm saying, nah, it's not perfect. That's the main. That's the objective here. Oh, I said that my need to do the will of him that sent me and to finish the work. See,
that will make you a perfect.
That will make you perfect, man. That's a perfect servant. That's it.
Servant.
And that's a mentality that you got to develop, because then you know now that you really ain't got it all figured out yet. You still just grinding, man. Scripture say work out your own stuff, but you better figure out your pace to get the hell up out of the fence. Nobody can check in your ticket for you, man. Yeah, go ahead.
This definition 2. It said the one who has his own person raised faith to its perfection, so set before us the highest example of faith.
Raise faith into his perfection. Who cares if you believe in the Israelites? We're going to have when Esau said you're going to get that jab. Hey, even in that, we don't know. Hey, that's how heavy this thing is. You can't even be that. Hey, it's levels of pride. You didn't even realize you proud by saying that day, man, I'm going to tell them crackers. No, hey, remember that happened with Peter?
Yep.
Peter spoke. He said, no, I never. Yep. Lord, man, he power that he is had to show you that we don't destiny, man.
That's why you have to pray to be in the mindset not to take the chip.
Well, we was talking about that.
Not to take the chip.
You got to pray to not be in the mindset. Oh, that's Revelation 3rd chapter, 2nd chapter. You got that? With that spirit, outside.
Yep. And then if I can make the statement, he said he was the highest example of faith. And that's how you can always keep growing when you keep comparing yourself to your house shot.
Well, you know what? Let evolution teach it. Ralph grew his neck. But you can use that. Giraffe was a little nigga at first. He had a little neck, and he wanted that leaf.
Yeah.
But eventually his neck grew into. Yeah, let's use that. Let's use that for motivational purposes. That's how you gotta be.
And that's
That's big goal. Yeah, that's it.
Because then even like women that know the truth, you can't compare yourself to the women that's in the world.
Nah.
You gotta go back to the scriptures.
Yeah.
You see, and that should be your
standard. That's it.
That's your standard. You know, just because you more submissive, than
woman, yeah. Now you think that too, yeah.
You don't stand. No. Just because you cook a little more than one, no, you gotta compare yourself to.
Yeah.
Hey, you remember when that even with Saul, he came to the witch. She slaughtered the ox and prepared for Saul. So you can't compare yourself to those women, and let know your standard got to come from the scripture. Our standards come from Yahushua. That's why he's the chief cornerstone, because everybody built off and measured off of him. You can't you can't compare yourself to another brother, because you might have a heavy portion in that brother.
Mm-hmm.
So comparing yourself to him don't do you no good.
Right.
Right
up.
The standard is Yahushua. That's who we gain. That's who we strive to be. Ultimately in that stead. Although we know we are,
That's striving.
That's striving. Yeah. You reaching for it. Oh, and when doing that, the Lord will reach out to you.
Yep. Hey, like Herschel Walker, he said he used to race the train.
Mm-hmm.
How you know he won't never beat the train? Mm-hmm. Like he made him fast and shit. He didn't never actually beat the train. He was racing that.
His standard was high.
But then by the time we do get on the field with niggas, goddamn, I been racing the train.
Really fast. Like a snail.
It's a psychological thing. Going through it, knowing that I would beat you, man. Yeah. So you better go just as much as the train, man.
It ain't impossible.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll read it again. What I call?
No, you was on the definition.
Okay. I thought you had read something.
Revelation.
Oh, yeah.
Revelation.
Revelations 3:10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I
They're
also.
Revelation again.
You got that word kept.
I haven't kept the word of my patience.
Oh yeah, I got that on it. Yeah.
Yep. Continue.
Can we the word patience?
Oh yeah, we get it. Just leave it all
Alright. Revelation 3:10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience,
Mm-hmm.
I also will keep.
That's the point. I will also, like we were saying, it's not us. We can't say, yeah, man, I got a program I put together where I'm gonna be able to stand in the day when Esau come and get me. No, like the brother said, you pray that the Lord put the spirit on you to keep you from it. It's gonna be the Lord who keep you from it. All right.
I see like
Yeah. Go ahead.
kind. This
That's that word.
This that word patience, just a Google definition. It reads able to accept or tolerate delays.
Remember, we did all of
Oh, I
that.
thought you looked up that word. Okay. Go ahead. Read that.
Kind.
Yeah, so this is why Shaq gonna keep us from that hour, man. Because if you able to suffer like this, read it up.
This is able to accept or tolerate delays.
We brought that up. You know what I'm saying? Who is terroring? Who delay we suffering? Our Savior, Yahushua.
I hope the first.
Exactly.
You gotta eat this.
Exactly. That's suffering, man.
You gotta eat.
Go ahead.
It says tolerate delays, problems.
Motherfucker tell you, nah, it'll be you thought it was gonna be Friday at 3 o'clock. They told you, nah, it's gonna be next Wednesday at 5. It's a sun summer. It might not be as extreme, but it's still anytime you get put off, anytime you get delayed, it's a disappointment.
And it's a preparation.
True.
How about Shema Shah grooming us, like with the little circumstances? Because all he trying to train us to do is react. Like I always make the point when you go into Karate Kid, he was always waxing on. What was Mr. Miyagi doing? He was training him to react. So when he was fighting, he know he was training the block. The block
every time.
But he was so used to that reaction. Mr. Miyagi kept doing the same thing over and over. He kept same thing. He Danielson, he almost lost patience because remember when Mr. Miyagi came home and finished.
He like got down to watching the damn ball.
And he snapped. But then when he got in the actual battle, it was like, oh, okay. Now he's seen what
Right.
was the whole time. You know.
And that's a lot of us be looking like, damn, why you want me to do this? You want me to do that? But when the time comes, you're gonna see why he was conditioned or you was put in that suffering situation.
Yep.
When the famine comes, you're gonna know why you was put in that and why I was put in that situation, couldn't eat. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna know why. Now my body's conditioned, so shit.
But I was gonna say, you know, that word in the scripture right there, one of the words that is perseverance.
Perseverance, exactly. Yep.
When you go into that word in the Greek right there, that's what, and that goes into what you said, is a defense mechanism.
Yep.
Like with that whole Karate Kid, and the Lord put you in certain situations, so when all hell breaks loose, you built like that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's heavy in itself, man. When scripture say he that cannot rule over that too, and it's another over small things, how can you break things? Yep. So the Lord getting us ready. That's the patience, not just to be patient.
Yep.
There's a method to that madness, if you will, too.
Right.
Gonna be reacting like Westbrook.
Mm-hmm. So don't talk to him.
God. It says, suffering without becoming annoyed or anxious.
Keep on.
Yeah, some of the similar words. It says forbearing, long suffering.
Oh, that's they're going to sifting. The word sifting, being agitated to the point of overthrow. And you in the waiting room, goddamn. Yeah, the reception to hear you murmuring on your bro. Fuck, been taking y'all so long. Man. She called the cops just to get out, man.
Yeah, you just get through, breaking down second Ezra's, the 11th chapter, going to all the Caesars.
Yeah.
You know, then you go work with Nick T, take the trash out. You mad as motherfucker. You like, yeah, damn, man. But you gotta eat. You gotta eat shit. You know? You increasing in the spirit, nigga.
Oh, much knowledge. We found out who the Caesars was.
He went to everybody around.
Regular nigga
Take
tell
the trash.
you go some paper.
Yeah, this nigga got the jabs and everything. Telling you, God damn. But I say that's the agitation. You gotta suffer it.
What's that? Long suffering.
Yeah, long suffering.
Like that's what the 2 Peter 3rd chapter. The times with the Most High, how it's shining the angels is different from our time. So you got to be in the spirit of having faith. Why I said in your patience possessions, you're gonna have to have that long suffering spirit, knowing that first of all, the Most High, how it's shining the angels' time ain't our time.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? So once you understand that, the time frame that they on, you know it's not your time frame. So now you're gonna have to be clothed with suffering, man. You gotta be clothed with patience.
Yeah. Hey, because you in your mind, Jacob think that the economy gonna crash. The economy crashed Wednesday.
Right.
And then Isaiah 4:1 gonna happen Friday. Knock on your door Friday. No, you might go 2-3 months without no box, no women, no pleasures. You just through, you got gonna be some suffering for that. That Isaiah 4:1 gonna be a relief to some suffering. It's gonna be a gap. Ain't gonna jump straight, No,
that's heavy too. Like really, that applies to all of us. It ain't like just we exempt for that. We came into we thought the end was gonna come. We thought that way y'all was trying to talk us down in Matthew 24 chapter, but the end is not yet come. Because you think in your mind, we all thought that. We had to develop, we the main ones that got let down. We the main ones that was expecting this shit to end. So
first believe.
What near than when you first believe. So we that work in progress when you really go into it. We the ones that's required to show the pain. We the ones who patience being tested. Because the niggas think they're gonna be here forever. We the ones that know that shit is the end to this thing, So we the ones that's being built up and it's gonna continue to happen. You're gonna be faced with situations where you gotta, we shit right now as we speak, man. We know that goddamn bite this nigga. Like Pastor Howard called a nigga weekend at Barnes. Some nigga just dead, man. This nigga ruling over you, man. And you're in the right spirit. You want that nigga to go. You ready to be set up. But hey, you gotta wait, man. There's so much more. Because the prophecies is really the gauge. You're like, well, hold up. We gotta wait on this prophecy and that prophecy. So patience is heavy, man. Yep. Good. You got more on that definition?
Yeah, that was pretty much it on that.
Mm-hmm.
Go
back to that. You got to work. Go back to Psalm 130. You got
Revelation. Just read it. Revelation again.
All right, it's up.
Oh, yeah, you probably read that again too.
In
Yeah.
Revelation 3 and 10.
Come. All right, Revelation 3 and 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience,
Yep.
I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation.
So you go in that word keep, because he's going to keep us from that hour of temptation.
That's it.
All right. And the Greek word is
Strong's G 5083. Tereo. Tereo.
tereo. All right, in the Greek. And it says to attend to carefully, to take care of, to guard.
Yeah.
Metaphorically, that's the point. To keep one in the state in which he is. Hey, because what's going to be happening, people going to start bugging out. You're going to see a lot of people bug out around, like people from the bug out, because you got to think the Most High, he has Esau Edom, very, keen in his wickedness. Like it's a lot of methods that's going to come out. That's going to be a mental torture.
Mm-hmm.
You see, this hour of temptation when he wants to break for this shit, like Esau knows how to break minds.
Oh yeah, they got the torturing tactics.
Yeah, even not before he even physically come get you,
Mm-hmm.
it's mental torture. Like that lockdown, how people, this man done perfected like this mental torture. Like he gonna put some draconian laws in place that's gonna be a mental torture, and people gonna bug out to get out that situation. But see, the same mind frame like we were talking about earlier, we got to pray to be a particular mind frame. So that same mind frame with sanity that we have now, the Lord gonna guard our mind to keep us in that mind state. Yeah, so we can make sound decisions that's gonna lead to salvation, man. But we finna see a lot of mental breakdowns, man. That's why women don't stand a chance, man. A woman don't stand a chance unless she around that energy of a man that's stable. A man of the Lord that's stable.
That shadow, that higher place.
Yeah, you already see the what's the bitch, Patrice Cullors.
Oh yeah,
She already
she already gone on you.
For her goddamn shadow, man.
She gone,
man. They better not come across my path.
No shade of protection.
Yeah.
But them head together.
We're gonna be the only shade of protection in that day. Lord, what the good part of it. Stability. That's it.
Yeah, stability.
My supplication.
Mm-hmm.
It says Psalms 130 and 2.
Okay.
Read again. Lord, hear my voice. Let thine ears be attentive.
That we cried out from the depths.
See that? The belly of the beast.
Yeah. And really, all the scriptures complement one another, man. We just read Revelation. The Spirit bringing it all together. Revelation. I will keep thee. Yep. So that's going to be really the Lord answering your petition. Because you're not going to just be a nigga to make it through that, man. You say, Jesus Christ, good. No, man. You're going to be the one calling for your house now, man. That's going to be us crying out. Oh, it'll take patience for that cry to be answered, too. We've been crying out, man, for the Lord to get us up out of here. But the Lord, they're going to that due time and say, right time. Yep, go ahead.
It says, Lord, hear my
voice. Matter of fact, you can get there, too. What's that? It's that 2 Corinthians 6 in the second verse. Lord, move when it's the right time. Go ahead.
Lord, hear my voice. Let thine ears be to the voice of my supplication. Begging, prayers.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. We begging. Because really, nobody don't know how, what you your own, as Super talk about, like working out your own salvation. It's like a personal thing. You should be back. I don't know what you're doing. Are you back or do you figure that you were good? But if you're those who really know, if you told me that it's a goddamn mechanical dollars waiting on me and I gotta go that way, I'm gonna be begging for somebody to get me out of this situation. Where it all come together, we know what's ahead of us. So if you really know what's ahead of you, man, you're gonna be thinking how about something outside deep down, to get you out of there. Go ahead.
It says it's through your behavior. Your behavior, the things like you cut certain things off, you fall back, that's showing that's a sacrifice.
That's a sacrifice.
That's sacrifice. That's what you kind of,
Yeah, because that word, a holy conversation, that goes in the deeds too.
Yeah.
Because that's a part of it too. Where they're going to Noah. Like when Noah didn't just believe, he started building the ark, man. Yep, go ahead.
It's deeds.
Yeah. You just got to do what the Lord tells you to do. Like we were talking about earlier. You can still think that you got a formula. Just do what Yahweh told you to do. Yeah, go ahead.
It says, if thou, Lord, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, should have mark iniquity, O Lord, who shall
Yeah, that
stand?
proves that's why they're coming out, because ain't nothing you really can do. The Lord, you could goddamn well, they're going to the guy. Remember the guy came up on your house and said he did everything right? No, I said, well, there's one more. Right? Well, the Lord was marking all us through. Oh, that's Isaiah the 1st chapter. Where the Lord said, if the Lord had not left a remnant, then we would have been at Sodom and Gomorrah, man. That means that all of us would be destroyed in this lifetime. All right, go ahead.
It says, there is forgiveness with thee.
Yeah, see, when somebody forgive you, that means that really it was the court. You know, you was at the mercy. We had the mercy of the court, man. You know, go ahead.
Yeah, quick research for you. Ecclesiasticus. Get it real quick. I'm gonna get Ecclesiasticus 2, last verse.
Oh man, that's it, man.
Ecclesiastes chapter 2 and 18. It says, saying, we will fall into the hands of the Lord and not into the hands of men.
That's bad.
For as his majesty is, so is his mercy.
And we know that we can't comprehend the majesty of Yahweh Shema Shai. You know, talking about the word, the scripture says we have seen but a spark. Case, if his majesty is not of this realm, then that means his mercy is not of this realm. So the things a man wouldn't forgive you for, the Lord won't forgive us for. That's in Matthew the 23rd chapter. When you go into that word mercy right there, Matthew 23 and 23, one of the words that's clemency. When you go into that word clemency, it leads you to lenience. We forgive someone for something that they shouldn't be forgiven for. See, so that's why the elect is going to be all this mercy, you know. Our righteous really is filthy ragged. The Lord going to forgive us. Right. So there you got it. Like I was just telling the spirit, you see some dogs coming up the street that compel you to beg this power for supplications, man. Oh, you remember the man came to the temple, he said, look, he beat upon his chest. He did that out of fear, man. Right. Go ahead.
It says, for I wait for the Lord.
See that? For I what?
For I wait, Salakia, I wait for the Lord, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai.
Right, so you wait. Go back to Romans 5. I knew it was something.
Yeah, you're right. Romans 5 and 3. That's what you want.
Yeah, you go back to Romans 5 and 3.
I got you. I agree.
Because it kind of goes into that build up, like we've been going into, like the brother going to, like we mentioned, faith to faith. Right. They go to process.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that's the whole process.
Yeah, then we remember the process.
Oh, yeah,
I call it the dig out till you got to make supplications. And then in that, now you at the mercy of this high power now. You got to know that there's somebody controlling you for you to say, let me just fall back because I can't do that on my own, you know, in relation to solidifying my own salvation, if you will. So now it's the waiting game. You're waiting on your house shot to deliver. Because that's heavy too, you know, when you think about it, like the apostles, they made a statement like, and it might have been a statement that would throw a lot of people off, but when they said Sarnetta could go up on the chariot. Yeah. I can see that though. But you know, it proves that nobody really is safe. You gotta just be patient in there because you waiting on the results of something.
Right. That's the perfection.
That's the perfection. Yeah, go ahead.
Kind of Romans 5 and 3. And not only so, but we glory in tribulations also, knowing that tribulation work of patience, and patience experience, and experience.
It said tribulation work of patience. We just read that right there. It said it's supplications. That was the tribulations from the depths I cried out. And it fell into him saying, I will patiently wait on you. Yep, go ahead.
It says, and patience experience.
And that's what you're going into. That's part of that perfection too. Right. You know, we all like, we are work in progress. We being shaped and polished and molded. And a part of that, like you said, that trying out. The Lord gonna try you out. You know, put that fire on you. There's one that come after me that will not baptize you with water, but with the Holy Spirit. Yeah.
And I was thinking, I was just reading through, like when you go, a great example of patience, really when you go to Joseph. Remember Joseph was put in prison wrongfully.
Yeah.
And then the baker and the butler, and then the butler had forgot about it. Like Joseph interpreted the dream for him and he got his job back, but he ain't put Joseph on. So imagine how because Joseph probably thought that was his way out. Like this is it. You know, then he forgot about him. Joseph had to sit some more, you know. But then Joseph finally got out and got what? That high rank. But see, the Most High was dealing with Joseph the whole time he was in prison, man.
It tell you that in Psalm 81, how Joseph was set up for a testimony.
Yep.
So that goes another. You probably want to get that Joseph. I think Psalm 81:5. Then get that. You can get that since you mentioned it. When I get that Psalms. What's that? Is it Psalms 105? It goes into everything I was just saying. Because really, Joseph was out on us, man. It was patient. He was thrown into captivity. He was cast in iron. And matter of fact, get that first. Then Psalms 105. Can you get that one? I think it started 15 or 16 or something. Or is it 105? Psalm 105 and 17.
Yeah, kind. I started on Psalm 105 and 17. He sit slacking.
Jump up on it.
Yeah.
That was a man named Joseph. And that was Joseph, Psalm 16 on. He was cast in iron.
Let's see. Okay, I started 16. Yeah, 16. I started 16. It says Psalm 105, 16. Moreover, he called for a famine upon the land. He brake the whole staff of bread. He sent a man before them, even Joseph, who was sold for a servant.
Yep, who was sold for a servant. Just like the brother going into, he was put in captivity.
Whose feet they hurt with fetters.
That happened.
He was laid in iron.
Yep.
Until.
And what?
Until.
That's it, man. He was laid in that iron until, man.
His whole life was really about trial.
Mm-hmm.
Like first his brothers hated him,
Mm-hmm.
you know, despised him. Then they sold him into captivity, you know. And then he was put in prison, you know. And until going to what, the end of the thing, because the end was so great, you know, it triumphed.
Well, they're gonna go into it. They're gonna tell you until. Go ahead. Well, they're gonna tell you until what? Until what?
The time that his word came.
Until the time that his word came. That's why I was reading scriptures. The truth shall set you free. So we was fucked up until the Lord allowed us access to His word. See, matter of fact, go to that Psalm 81. Is it 81 or 80 and 5? Try 80.
Oh yeah, this 81 and 5.
Okay, yeah, get that.
This is Psalm 81 and 5. It says, this he ordained in Joseph for a testimony.
See, so Joseph, that story of Joseph was for a testimony, man. Of how this thing really works. You're gonna be locked up, you're gonna be in captivity, you know, and then ultimately the word's gonna come and free you. Matter of fact, go ahead.
It says, this he ordained in Joseph for a testimony when he went out through the land of Egypt.
Oh.
Well, I heard a language that I understood now.
Yeah, I said you can go back to that.
The word testimony in the Hebrew, it goes into
that's it.
Or evidence of things. It says specifically a recorder. You know, so you got Joseph. His life was just put on record, just for the, you know, just for a really faith booster.
Yeah, kind of back Psalm 105 and 19. It said, until the time that his word came.
Go ahead. And what?
The word of the Lord tried him.
The word of the Lord tried him, just like the brother was saying. He was waiting on the baker to get him out of there. But the Lord, that's that hope. All right, go ahead.
It says the king sent and loosed him.
The king sent and loosed him. Go ahead.
Even the ruler of the people.
Even the ruler of the people.
And let him go free.
That's really how it's shot when you go into from spiritual lens. Matter of fact, continue.
It said he made him Lord of his house.
See, and that's Matthew the 25th chapter. He's so calm when he finds God, he become ruler over his thing. So, and that's just like your house out here and you ask him to break down how the kingdom go. He'll tell you that story. See?
Because his brothers had to bow down to him.
Like, that was a certain man. Yeah. That's true. It's out here now. But he's telling you these things through this story. Go ahead.
It says, and ruler of all his substance, to bind his princes at his pleasure.
Now we're going to bind the nations with their pleasure. So that was the natural maturation. He had to be tried. He had to wait patiently in prison So ultimately, he's gonna be raised up and bind other motherfuckers, man. That's us, man, which goes into us being the next rulers. Us being in captivity and waiting patient proves we the next guy.
True. Keep that elevation, be exalted.
That's it. May the Lord Yahweh Shema shine numbers amongst that precious help. But as for now, we ain't doing to the end. You know, then that means we link up with what the requirements would be before honor is humility. Go ahead,
Con. It said, and teach his senators wisdom.
and we're gonna do that in the kingdom. We're gonna teach. That's Isaiah the 2nd chapter, man. It tells you that in 1 Kings the 2nd chapter how the kings of the earth came from Solomon, and they said they presented gifts. When you go into that word gifts, it goes into tribute, man. So that proves right there that we gonna what he just said, they set Joseph up out of that turmoil. He had to be patient, but ultimately he's gonna be set up as the ruler of the people.
Yep. Because even like going to the brothers that despised him, as they eventually had to bow, they had to reverence him. Just like in the kingdom, you know, we despised by the majority of our people, but in the kingdom they're gonna have to reverence, man. And, you know, they're gonna be well off, they're gonna be good, you know, they're gonna be put in positions, but it's gonna be their status, you know, for what? That like you say, for their suffering and their patience. You know?
It's a reward.
Yep.
You know, that's why the scripture said what the brother had earlier. To her as one that labor and wait patiently for her good fruits. So it's a reward for even desiring something. When you desire something, the scripture speaks about that. The desires of the wicked shall not. I forget how.
To be frustrated.
To be frustrated or something like that. And everybody desire. Oh, me and a brother were looking at the article as y'all was going into the next rulers. Well, Biden said, yeah, China believes they're going to rule over us in 15 years. The information came out 2 days ago. But the key word was China believe. These other nations got faith. They got faith that they're going to be ruled. That's why they put it into motion. Motherfucker got blueprints on how the economy going to be ran. Oh, we was talking about that. They anticipated the year 2100, man. That means the motherfuckers believe that they're going to rule. But the scripture, the Lord's going to send away. The Lord send away princes empty-handed, man. All right? The desires of only the poor is going to be met. Okay? You got more on that? Matter of fact, that 1 Samuel 2, then you can get that Luke 4 too. If you ain't got that. When Habashai came on the scene in Luke 4, the 18th chapter.
You want the Luke first?
Yeah, you can get that one.
Luke 4, what?
18.
Okay. All right. So you're quoting Isaiah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is the book of Luke, chapter 4. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he have anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He have sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach to the captives.
Yeah. And to the word, and to the time when his word came, which is the deliverer, Yahweh, man. You locked up, man. Only thing you got is patience, man. You antsy. Oh, like the definition you brought out, where it says the patient definition, it says waiting without becoming angry, annoyed. Yep.
And imagine how then why, you know, John the Baptist had asked, you know, are you the one? Because he was really trying to provoke Yahushua.
Yeah.
Because he already knew who Yahushua was. Mm-hmm. He was trying to provoke, like, you know, turn this whole empire down, get me out, cuz he was already, you know,
that's great.
Like Jacob, you niggas took that and tried to say John wasn't in the truth.
Yeah.
But no, you gotta put yourself in John. He really is. John been preaching Yahushua, then he baptized Yahushua, and now he in prison. So you know his mind like, hold on, you know, I've been preaching salvation, like, you know, so he had to get tested, but then he had to you know, to Yahushua and how Yahushua come from him with the scriptures, you know.
So he locked up with that patient. That's going to make the jokes. That's when you locked up, man. You at the mercy of somebody else. You can't move the way you want. You can't breathe the way you got a square radius. So then it requires patience for free. You know, you can't just come up out there, motherfucker.
Patience and faith.
Hey, you locked up. You can't say I'm gonna eat a steak tonight.
Yeah.
It's a mental game.
Yeah, you waiting on them to bring you some chips.
Yep. It's a mental
Yeah, that's it. Like the brother said, it's a mental game. It's at the forefront of this patience. Man. But imagine knowing that you're going to get out and then you got everything waiting on you outside. Like, once you get out, you're going to be set up. That's why John, that was the spirit of John. Because you know that's the whole message. You know, really, we would be raised up over our enemies. What's that? What's that? Is that Judges, the 5th chapter? In the land of drawn waters. Everything was all centered around, you know, us finally getting the promises, man.
Without now restore the kingdom.
Yeah, without now restore the kingdom.
You know, our forefathers, because they had rulership
mentalities.
You know, they knew true rulership reports of Yahushua taking down legions of the Romans. You know, he just sitting in prison.
Way.
You know, like shit.
Even Ezra was like, show me the pardon the son of the time. Hey, ready to get the fuck up and ready. Oh, the captive exile.
Be loose.
Loose from it. That he might not die in the pit, man. But with the key word, that pit. Now, either you're a slave, either you're in subjection, or you're a ruler. Once we come from under this, then naturally we're going to be the rulers. You know, then start going down according to the story. See, you got it up.
It said to preach deliverance to the captives and the recovering of the sight to the blind, to set at liberty them that are bruised.
This is what we want right here.
It said to preach the acceptable year of
the
Lord.
That's patience. To preach, they go to 2 Corinthians. To preach the acceptable year. This is the year that now it wasn't the time much as John desired or Acts the 1st chapter, which we those spirit, you know, in the spirit, man. We those spirit that were desiring that, but now we that close. And that's heavy thing now. This is the life outside going to make good on what we just read in Luke the 4th chapter. You know? You got that?
2 Corinthians. It says what he said, I have heard thee in a time accepted. See, so this is the accepted time. Because certain things had to play out before we can get the full course meal. This is the time where we the Lord is hearing our cry. We crying for the right things as well. You know, not a dollar, extra dollar on your rate of pay, to sit in the same restaurant with an Edomite. We crying to get
at one point that made sense. Because you was beat up, and the outlet was you being able to be treated equal. That Esau not a player on your, you know, he not a player in front of a rep. The cheese in that case was just being able to go in the restaurant. You think, let me just do that.
I made progress.
I made progress.
What we were talking about earlier, he painted you a reality.
For
his outcome.
You know? Box you off in assimilation. Where you sitting on the side of the Edomite being able to order pie. American pie and coffee and shit. Now you made it.
You celebrated you made it, man.
But now like the brother said, now we know what to ask. Now we know, and it might sound crazy. Now you can actually keep me from those mechanical dolls. That might sound crazy to you, but we know the story now. You know the Jason coming. That's what I'm asking you to keep me from.
Time accepted.
Time accepted. So now you got to know what to come with. Remember 1 Kings 3rd chapter. Solomon pleased the Lord with his request. So even that, now the request line open. Look at the fuck you best. You know what I mean? So you got now the request line open, but we have the wisdom through the spirit of power, Yahweh Shemashah, and to present the petition now, and it's pleasing to the Lord.
No, you finished it.
It says, for he said, I have heard thee in a time accepted, and in the day of salvation have I secured.
So there's a day of salvation. There's an appointed day. There's a release date, which requires patience. We just read it concerning Joseph. He was thrown in iron, laid in iron until the time. See, until the time that his word came. This is that time. Matter of fact, continue.
It said, and in the day of salvation have I secured thee. Behold, now is the accepted time.
Now is the accepted time. And like we briefly touched before we turned the camera on, really patience is not just reserved in this lifetime. When you take a step back and broaden the brush, if you will. Patience go back. We just mentioned the men that was asking John the Baptist. You don't think his spirit came back where he came? His spirit came back amped up, trying to see when the kingdom comes. He came back teaching the word. All right, or Ezra, or any of these great men, you know, that came back in this lifetime. They was the very ones who was patiently waiting back then. But now is the acceptable time. This is the season of Israel. Oh, in the day of Jerusalem, remember, the day is a season. Every dog has their day.
Hey, because what we see in heaven on earth is showing that now he's listening to our requests. Yeah. You know, when you see conflicts in the Middle East, you seeing our people awakening, you know, brothers, you know, even sisters getting it. That's a token that now he's listening to our requests. You see these different, you know, the pandemic, you know, they call it pestilence and all these different things. That's a token that he's listening, because he's doing it on he's doing it for our behalf. Hey, it's like you in college, you know, you get sent to college, you know, your parents are paying for everything, but then they find out your behavior and your grades is horrible. So they cut you off. You know, you go to the cafeteria, try to get something to eat. Well, your what's-call ain't been paid. You know, you try to go out, hang out with your friends, you swipe your card. Oh, it's declined.
Oh, got cut off.
Yeah, you see? So now it's like, shit. So what you gonna tighten up? You know, you gonna write letters home and say this and this and this and that. Well, see, your shit still on decline and you still getting cut off from the food line. But then, you know, they see their progression, all right? And then what happened? You get a request, you know, got you a cash app, $1,000. That's showing that what? In acceptable time, your parents heard you. But they had to let you go do some shit to get your mind right. But now they listen to your request, because you've been sending letters. Hey, because Jake been praying and crying and marching and requesting. That's why you see the earth is in chaos. That's at the request of the prophets. That's why we love the chaos, you know, and that's at our request, you know.
Yep, 6. Yep. With the brother, truth shall flourish, something like that, and corruption shall be overcome.
Yep. So
now it's that time, it's that season where the tables is turning. All right, go ahead.
I got some real quick. Sirach 35:13. He would not accept any person against a poor man, but will hear the prayer of the oppressed.
That's it. That's beautiful. Now the Lord hear our prayer. You know, we really want to see America be destroyed. We want to see all hell break loose. That's why things happen like that. Oh, and also get that in. I want to say that Judith. That go right with you. If there be found no iniquity in this people. Because that goes into what the brother's saying, you know, obedience goes into it too. You know, you start doing, you know, even though our righteousness is filthy rags, but still, the Lord see you trying, you know, you taking that step. Oh, that's the parable of the prodigal son. We saw him a great far off. What that mean? You ain't had it right yet, for real. You was still off. You ain't had it all together. You was a great far off, and the Lord had compassion on you. And the Lord ain't gonna put out a flickering flame, man. You know, you just the Lord come and stomp you out. No, man.
Or you just trying to do right just because of the you looking for a reward.
Yeah.
You know, as far as you know, trying to do enough to get favor, but you still got your own agenda, what you want to do. You know, you just really want to do right to get out the situation and go back to doing what you want to do. You know?
Yeah, well, the Lord knows all that.
Yeah,
the Lord knows who the scripture said. The Lord knows those who are His.
Yeah. You know?
All right, because we want it. Like we want to make it up out of here, but we also want to be, you know, crowned and have a good thing. Yeah. What Peter said, what shall we have, or something like that. But at the end of the day, you got to do what He told. Like, you know, I got the reward. I got money I'm going to pay you. You want to do it, but you won't say, but you don't want to do what I told you.
Yeah.
You know, like the brother said, obedience comes with it, man. All right, come on.
You want the Judah?
Yeah, you got it?
Yeah, I got it. Right. Kind of Judah 5, and I started verse 17. It said, and while they sinned not before their power, they prospered, because the power that hated, it's like because the Most High that hated iniquity was with them. It says, but when they departed from the way which He appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles.
See, when we departed from the way, all right, was the ordinance from the heavens. The Lord commanded us how to move, man, as people, man. And if the president tell your ass, or some legislation come down from your respective governor or mayor, your ass do it. How about Shemaiah sent us ordinance? Hey, because if you don't follow those ordinances from the Esau, penalties, you get hit with fines or something like that, right? Well, it's the same with the Most High. We separated from those commands, then where have we were destroyed as a people? Read that again.
It says, but when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles very sore.
Yeah.
And were led away, and were led captives into a land that was not theirs.
Yeah, prove that. They're talking about our people, man. Well,
and the temple of their power was cast to the ground, and their cities were taken by the enemy.
Well,
but now,
at a point in time, but now
are they returned to their power?
See, now they're returned to their power. We just briefly spoke of that in the parable of the prodigal son. When the Lord saw him great far off, right? Go ahead.
And are come up from the places where they were scattered, and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in the hill country, for it was desolate. It says, now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error against his people,
if you want to come up against his people, go ahead.
And they sin against their power, let us consider that this shall be their ruin.
Right. So if amongst his people is error, which, hey, when you came up in captivity, error found in you. Right? Go ahead.
It said, and let us go
that
up.
Takes away the hedge of protection. So like other nations were able to step down because we was found with error. Go ahead.
And let us go up, and we shall overcome them.
That was wise words. He said, look, if you find these people, we can go and take this. Go ahead.
But
go ahead.
If there be no iniquity in their nation.
Now you got to pay attention to it. It said, but if there be no iniquity in their nation. That didn't say the whole nation. In their nation. So within there's some that's found without iniquity. That's Revelation the 14th chapter. It ain't based upon our own doing. It's based upon the Lord showing mercy and delivering us and fulfilling the prophecy. But in that, we will move a certain way. That's why the Lord is so favorable on us again. We'll come back to the customs to the best of our ability. You know? We'll remind the Lord, we'll give the Lord of that glimpse, if you will, of the beauty of Israel. Arise, put on our beautiful garments, you know? Go ahead.
It says, but if there be an iniquity but if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them.
See, so he said, look, don't even step down on them if there's no iniquity found in Israel, because at that time, their Lord is going to defend them. And guess what? That's going to happen in this lifetime. Esau is going to be compelled to test that theory. And that's what Esau is about. Esau tested, motherfucker, test, you know.
Yeah.
He want to,
on a mountain lion.
Yeah.
Night vision, you know. What are you doing, man? You know, he's all about, you know, he's inside the volcano. God damn. You know. Fucking alive, man. You know, see, you know, how far, you know, the prophets, man, and you know, that's gonna be his end.
That's Wisdom of Solomon, with the two.
Every move he make, you know, like even on some simple, so like you playing tic-tac-toe, you know somebody got you in the box for your next move, you know he gonna win regardless. You know, that's what Esau is with. He see he got the loss regardless, so he like, you know, trying to figure out a move, you know, that's not even in the game he gonna make, man. You know, he done. Connect folk.
Esau want to ball the game up. Yeah. Esau want to flip the chess table and say, let's do a new world. Let's reset. Yeah, hit the reset button.
Nigga stand up from the table and bend over and look at it. Nigga, you lost, nigga. Make that move. Nigga. You know, it's over.
Yep.
See, I got a quick one for you. Going back to what you said of Judah. This is Isaiah 40. This is Isaiah 59:20. And the Redeemer shall come to Zion, and unto them they turn from transgression. And Jacob said, the Lord Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai. And that's Yahweh Shai coming back to Zion, the memorial. Because like you say, the elect, because you say like the elect is giving the Most High a memory of the beautiful, you know,
to Zion.
Yeah, you know. So he's going to come back to that memorial of righteousness within Israel. Those that return from, you know, their transgression. So because the elect is like a nation within themselves.
Yeah.
You know, amongst, you know, all the nations on earth, it's like an own sovereign nation within itself, man. You know?
What's like it? My bad. You got that. That was it on number 10?
Yeah, come on.
Go back to that Psalm 130.
Yeah, I'm gonna read that again. Then we
Two man.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, okay.
End up on that. Yeah, go ahead.
Psalms 130 and 5. I wait, Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah, my
Yep.
soul.
And that's Salakia. That's Zephaniah. I will patiently wait on the Lord. You know? So
Lamentation.
Lamentations.
Yeah, I get it real quick. I'm meant to get it out early spirit. Yeah, I got it real quick. This is Lamentation 3. All right. And I started 24. It says, the Lord Shah is my portion, saith my soul. Therefore will I hope in him. The Lord is good unto them that wait for him, to the soul that seeketh him. It is good that a man should both hope and quietly wait for the salvation of the Lord. Yahweh Bashem Mahoshai.
That's a quiet way. That kind of gives you a feel.
Yeah,
You quiet. You can't make no noise. You know?
Patience and faith.
Yeah. And you ain't stirring nothing up. You ain't rattling the cage. Yeah. We patiently waiting on Yahweh Bashem Mahoshai. Now we are crowd. Then you can't be justified. You don't show up in court. You know, with your petition. Then how did the Lord rule in your favor? Vengeance for your enemies, you know, to correct their wrong. So we gonna cry out, you know. But overall, we patiently quiet. We not rattling the cage. We not trying to establish our own salvation here, you know, in the sense of setting up a damn military damn gun range, man. Simple Jake with a older chopper, you know.
Hey, that's that hope in a tangible thing.
Yeah.
Which is not real.
And arm and the flesh, woe to him.
Yep, that's it. Faith and arm.
Yeah, that's.
It says, I wait.
No, you got it.
I wait for the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah, my soul doeth wait, and in his words do I hope.
And do his word. Read that again. That's Psalm 135.
Yes.
Read the 5th verse again.
It says, I wait for the Lord.
See, I wait for the Lord, but.
And my soul.
Yeah, because that's the inheritance requires waiting. It never said that we was gonna come here, get our education game down, you're gonna get the right paperwork, you set up a goddamn community in a rural area in Georgia, cut down some trees, and then it's on. Like, we don't be in Babylon and the Israelites. No, man. You have to wait on this you really wait on this decree to be manifested. That's really what it is. You're waiting on the decree. That's Daniel, the 2nd chapter. You're waiting on the change in the season. It take patience for where we in the spring now, in the summer, spring. You gotta wait on the summer.
I was gonna make the point, like somebody in prison, you know, with a mindset to get out. You know, he's not occupied with decorating his cell. He gonna be in the library, in the law, trying to find a loophole.
Get out,
you know, like who the hurricane.
Okay, I think about it.
Yeah. Hey, he was in there working out.
He never laid in the
Yeah, he never get caught. He was chasing that date.
I saw a story on Forensic Files. Another guy did that. He worked on his own case. He never slept on the mat.
Yeah.
He looked like an Edomite, but I mean he was a Jake. You know what I mean? He was a musician and shit. But yeah, he was wrongly accused, man. He was amped up. He was that motherfucker the whole time. I think it was in Canada. Yeah, and he found to be innocent, man. He was released.
And that's what we're doing, or being occupied in rulership. And that's why we stay, you know, occupied in prophecies in the law. Because they'll study Esau law to get out there to find a loophole. Yeah. You know, but we occupied in this, you know. That's why we know what to look for. You know?
That's heavy. That's it.
Yeah.
You would figure that.
Like verse said, we want to be the ones that's found to be innocent, which is the blessed ones. Those that their iniquities want imputed. Those going to be the innocent one, which is the elect.
Well, you don't even qualify. You don't know about that story. That's what the scripture say. Put on as the elect. You can't mimic LeBron if you never heard of him or some shit like that. You want to be a good ball player. You got to watch the such. So if you don't that much scripture have patience in that word, because you find out that this story, which dictates life, have a damsel in distress that was at the end. It has a hero villain, then it has somebody that's gonna be saved. You hope that the director casts you into that part. So that's what comes in hope, you know. You can read it one more time, and then we'll go to that. You got it.
Okay, come. It says, the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah, my soul doeth wait, and his words do I hope.
See, and that's it. In his words do I hope. Just like the analogy the brother gave. You locked up, you looking for loopholes, you studying, you're not putting pins on shit like that, man. That's what Jake. That was Jake doing. Here. You comfortable? You a homeboy and say, you know, motherfucker trying to figure out a way how you can set up a soft landing for they. You know, you want them to go to Alabama State too. Some crazy shit. All right, so come on, man.
God, verse 7, 2 and 8. He raised up the poor out of the dust
Mm-hmm.
and lifted up the beggar from the dunghill
Yep, go ahead.
to set them on places
Mm-hmm.
and to make them inherit the throne of
So
glory.
that's the process. Right? We've been raised up, but that's a patient. You know, that's a patient act. You know, you take some. That's the extreme. It ain't like you taking someone that's already the vice president or somebody who already have some status and you making him. No, you taking the base. You know, you pretty much flipping the whole shit. You know, you demoing the building and raking the whole nother building. See, so that's where we at in this process. All right. You had some other?
No, that was it.
Hey, so with that, I'm gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Kakadash.
Double honors to our teachers, the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the brothers laboring in his work. And as always, you believers, the Akim as well as the Aqua, you subscribe to the shoot as well. To next time, Shalom.
Shalom.
GTA,
Above the ball. Soon.
Psalm 30. Soon.
Might get them